the original titan is the universe. Peace and greetings, family. In nature, there are numerous storms that are brewing, not just from an individual perspective, but on a collective front. Now, externally, hurricanes are continuing to line up in the oceans when normally this season would be over. Coronal mass ejections from the sun have substantially increased. The pole shift looms ever closer, and no one seems to be preparing for it in a cohesive and intelligent manner. Do we know how to? Are we curious enough to inquire about our role and responsibilities in the matter? Or will we leave it to those outside of ourselves? To chance? According to the Knowledge Book, pages 34 through 35, gods performed their missions on 7 systems established in the universe. Each god is the only responsible one of his medium. Now keep in mind that we're not referring to the Almighty, the Absolute, who is the most supreme, but we're talking about the gods. They are responsible for their world, for the heavens of that world, for the galaxies around it, for the firmament, for those systems, for the perfection of the final humanity plane in our case. The light is responsible for the entire universe and is the single emissary of the Lord. Gods are very great responsible missionaries who will transmit and supervise the commands coming from the Supreme One. So why did Sirius intervene in the affairs of the God of this world? Have we thought about that? Since ancient Kemet, the Syrians have left us truths all over this planet in different cultures, from Angkor Wat to the Olmec Mayans to Antarctica to the Grand Canyon, and we can keep going. But with all that is being uncovered and revealed and discovered, do we know ourselves? Or are we content to remain in a box that threatens us if we even think about any quests outside of it? We study, or at the very least, we look into various disciplines of philosophy, of science, of religion, and search for pieces of ourselves. And many of us have a burning desire to know who we are, because we can sense that something nefarious is happening, and we realize that we ought to be further evolved than we are. But some of us have burned ourselves out with overloads of information that we aren't applying or don't know how to. How many of us know that Noah was preparing for Earth's cyclical pole shift? It is written that so in the days of Noah, so shall it be at the end of this world. Some of you have lived through pole shifts in past lives and are here to help guide the chosen through. But you've been sidetracked. One over here is searching the internet to find their soulmate, their twin flame. This one over there just bought a house and wants time to enjoy it. Somebody else over here is using their supreme gifts from the Almighty Absolute to engage in black magic and evil eye activities because they feel threatened by someone, while others are basically asking God for a rain check on doing what it takes to prepare and build their inner arcs. Do we see any parallels here? We have itching ears, and unfortunately too many of us are willing to do whatever it takes to get rich or die trying to satisfy our ego and lower nature, while our inner world is being flooded by a tsunami of artificial realities that bogs us down like quicksand to keep us separated from our souls. And we can't know thyself without a soul. Souls carry memory. From the lukewarm state that many of us are operating in, what if we hear about new laws coming into effect that requires that no one can buy or sell unless they have specific credentials in their possession, and they must comply, or else be arrested and sent somewhere to be legally unalived? But will we have enough spiritual liquid gold, aka fearlessness, aka God energy, to stand, to die on our God principles. We'll justify our decisions using faulty logic. Trivium quadrivium will be out the window, as well as good old-fashioned trust in God. Because we don't know ourselves, let's look at how the hollow mind perceiver can help us in these areas. Today is Ken 119, the blue lunar storm, with the power of self-generation, the action to catalyze, and the essence of energy. Time, V3H18. Here we find time on the taste of cosmic synchronization, located in the third time dimension, second mental sphere. We know that time is a universal factor of synchronization. Now this area is the third dimension where our physical body resides. Our memories and thought patterns and behaviors also live here in the subconscious. The factors of taste are applied to the gustatory sense from an internal, external, and etheric perspective. What does our external world taste like concerning our knowledge of self? Is our taste out of control? We want this, we want that. Because it can come to a time when our palate, so to speak, is no longer useful or trusted to convey accurate information. Internally, is our taste sweet? Is it savory? Or is it bland because we haven't put any seasoning or spent any significant time in our inner world? Etherically, are we sampling the higher gustatory aspects of different dimensions? How can we correct our taste in these areas? In this case, the subconscious may become our best friend. Space, V16H2. Space is located in the second time dimension, fourth mental sphere. It is on the third magnitude of the fifth force superconscious. It coordinates the circuit of beta alpha channel. Our space is important to us, and unfortunately, it is something that is being marginalized today and is being captured by the ungodly for control over our lives. When we're supposed to be starting, doing, or completing our Earth missions. Here in Beta Nova, we have to do an outward action in regards to our space, and then focus and concentrate on our service. So what is occupying the spaces of our minds? We have the opportunity to actively change our spaces, our environments, our surroundings, perhaps through active services. Maybe we might want to help the elderly in the family. Maybe we may give someone a ride that we know does not have a car. This is the electric tone, number 3, that carries the essence of service. And once we begin serving others, that can help our mental focus and concentration to be redirected into higher dimensions of cosmic ascension. Synchronicity, V10H20. Here we find it in the 8th time dimension, 7th mental sphere. We know synchronicity is a higher moving mathematical template that coordinates all phenomena telepathically. In other words, there are no coincidences. We want our synchronicity to show up in our lives, having our expected prayers and desires to manifest. That feels special, doesn't it? And in this 97th room, located in the 8th time dimension, it deals with higher tantric principles of the masculine and feminine operating as a unified force. This isn't about gender, it's about the energy that we all carry within ourselves. We must balance it for better synchronicities. In other words, we can't sit back in the feminine principle and think that we can live any old kind of way and then we end up doing nothing to instigate positive change, to know ourselves. Neither can we research, read, study, listen and give lectures, hustle, work, do, and give non-stop without allowing the opportunity for the moving templates, the moving dynamics of synchronicity to unfold. This octave calls for order, unity, and balance. To know thyself is imperative as we accept the invitation from the Almighty, the Absolute, to join universal unification. Peace to the gods.
This is what